How can you cut down your phone bill?
How do you know which way your blood flows?
And how much do you pack for the weekend?
How?
How? How strong is a straw?
I wouldn't class a straw in a top 10 list of very strong things, Fred.
You'd think
Definitely not, no.
No,
not
you think a
strong at
straw
all.
is a weak, bendy thing like that, don't you?
Well, it is, look.
Well, how can you put a straw straight through a potato?
You can't.
Just like I've done there. Look at that.
Yeah, you drilled those holes first, mate.
I drilled them through, did I? Well, watch this then. One genuine potato, one straw. If I smash the straw into the potato, it'll break, won't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Not if I put my thumb over the end, because I'm compressing the air, turning the straw into a rod, a lot of concentration, much force, and... even more force and...
Yeah, very
You can do it, Fred.
There!
Hey!
Success at last.
Yeah.
Have a go.
Can we have a packet each then in that case? Thank you.
So,
Thumb over the end,
Over
yeah?
the end,
Okay.
a lot of force, and that's
I did it.
well done.
Yeah, most of the way through, anyway.
And that's how strong a straw is.
Now, how do you make things difficult for yourself? Well, you do it by learning to touch type. When you learn to touch type, you learn to place your fingers on certain home keys. Now, a typewriter isn't laid out with A, B, C, D, E, F, G and so on. It's laid out in a most peculiar way using what's known as a QWERTY keyboard, Q-W-E-R-T-Y. Now, what do you think is the most common letter in the alphabet?
Got to be one of the vowels.
Yeah.
Choppy?
E.
E. Right, well, to strike an E, you have to move this finger up, strike the key and move it back. What about the next most commonly used letter?
Fred?
T? Is it T?
T, yes.
yeah.
To strike a T, you move this finger up and then over, strike it, back and back. Pretty difficult, really, not in the most simple positions. Why do we have QWERTY keyboards? Well, we have them because when typewriters were first invented, manufacturers had to make life more difficult for the typists to slow them down, simply because the mechanics of a typewriter were pretty poor. The keys didn't strike very easily, and the typewriters would often get jammed up. This one here, which is a terribly old typewriter, has two keyboards, in fact, one for capital letters, one for lowercase. As we moved through time, we went down to just the one keyboard with a shift key to give you capital letters. However, this one, you can't see what on earth you're typing, and you can't see if you've made any mistakes. Then we move on to something, wonderful, you can actually see what you're typing here. Still, though, with the QWERTY keyboard. This actually is quite nice, because it's one of the very first portable typewriters. Fold over and take it with you. So how can you make life easier for yourself? Well, you can do it by using one of these. This is a Moltron keyboard. Now, the inventor started from scratch. He wanted to know two things. He wanted to know the most comfortable position for your hands to be in, which is why this looks so strange. You place your fingers over the home keys like so, and he decided that the most commonly used letters should be in the simplest place. So to type V, you would have T, H and E, never having to lift a finger from the board. But of course, he couldn't retrain 120 million typists worldwide to use this particular keyboard, so he had to compromise. He has here a special little button which can take this back to the QWERTY keyboard. And that is how you can make life much easier for yourself.
How much do you pack when you go away for the weekend? Carol, how much do you pack?
Well, a good suitcase, actually, because I've got about 4 changes of outfit. I've got my makeup, cleansers, yeah, about that. I would
One
say.
small suitcase, yeah. Fred?
Well, you know...
Well, actually, Fred...
well, you know...
You've got to see this. This is actually what Fred takes with him at the weekend. I sneaked into his dressing room and pulled this out. It's called a portmanteau. It's kind of a cross between a wardrobe and a toilet bag. It's got everything in here. And look at this huge old piece of antiquated equipment. Not the kind of thing that a modern man should take away with him for the weekend. Come over here, because I will show you what a modern man should take away with him for the weekend. And That's it.
That's it?
That's it. Significantly smaller than your mobile
You can't get
home,
anything in
Fred.
there.
Oh, you'd be amazed at what's in here. Watch this, watch this. This is absolutely brilliant, Carol. You like this, you like this. What do you reckon that is?
Something for tablets?
Yes.
No, watch this. This is brilliant. Talk about space saving. Folds out like that. Cool, huh?
Brilliant.
Instant toothbrush.
Yeah.
Any guesses as to what?
A phone card, credit card?
Yeah, it's a credit card
sewing
holder, isn't
kit.
it?
No, you're gonna love this. It's a flipping razor. Look at that. That's a razor blade there. It flips over. There's a mirror on there. You can check your shave. Have a shave. It's not superb.
Wonderful.
But this is the best bit. This is the best bit. How about that? What do you think that is?
I've no idea, to be
It's sort of
perfectly
like cotton
honest.
wool or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Watch this.
yes,
Believe it or
that's
not, that is a flannel.
It's a flannel?
It's a dehydrated flannel, actually. All you have to do is dip it in water and it resumes its full size. How about that?
How'd you get it back
little
again?
taste.
You've got to dry it out with the hairdryer for a couple of weeks. But that, really, is how much a mod man should take away with him for the weekend.
Not really, Toppy. This is what you really need. Look, I've got a toothbrush as well inside mine, just as you have. But I've also got toothpaste in mine there, you see. And I've got aftershave down this end, and I've got a razor. Not only that, I've also got shaving foam, you see. And not only that even, I've also got a nail file. So that's what you really need. Want to borrow it this weekend?
I don't believe it. Out-howd.
How can you tell the sex of a chameleon?
Well, haven't the male, that one there, that's got the horns, that means it's a male.
Good answer,
Okay.
but nothing to do with horns at all. One thing, though, all chameleons have got in common is the ability to swivel their eyes in quite opposite directions. Now, when they're eating their food, both eyes go forward as they concentrate on what they're eating. But when they're looking around for a prey or an enemy, then the eyes can swivel around behind their heads almost. Another thing they've all got in common are the feet, these little toes in digits of 2 and 3, wonderful for climbing.
Is it the feet, then? Are the males different feet to females?
No, nothing to do with the feet either, just something else I thought I'd tell you. But another thing all chameleons have got in common, as everyone knows, is their ability to change colour, to blend in with their surroundings, this wonderful camouflage. And the one thing which makes males change colour most dramatically and violently is anger or jealousy. If they see another male, because he's on their territory, they're liable to curl their tails and slightly change colour. Let's see if it works as we bring in this little dummy.
Oh, yes.
You'll notice a very slight but immediate darkening
Yeah.
in the colour of Colin the chameleon, because he's seen another male and he doesn't like it. And that's how you can tell the sex of a chameleon.
Poor old Colin. Now, how do you know where your blood flows?
Well, it's your veins and your arteries. Everyone knows that.
But how? How do you know? As we all know now, what happens is the heart pumps blood out through the arteries and then that blood returns through the veins. But over 500 years ago, there were a couple of alternative theories going around. But in 1616, William Harvey, an English physician, derived a terribly simple experiment to prove just what happens. All right, I want this arm. All right, now let's pick this vein here. Now, if I press down there, stopping the blood flow, and drain your vein, you can see it immediately fills back up again. So the blood must be running in this direction. If I do it here, compress the vein there, drain it in that direction, you can see that it remains empty up until this point, but the blood doesn't trickle back into the vein. So there must be some valve stopping it there. And that's what the experiment showed Harvey, and that is what happens. Let me show you with this. This is a vein, this is a valve, and this is a bit of blood. Now, if the blood goes through the vein, through the valve, you can see that it can't return. And that is how you know where your blood flows. And if you'd like to know more about this how, or in fact any other how in the series, then we have prepared a free How Fact book. And if you'd like one, then just write to this address. How to, PO Box 1, Maidstone, Kent, ME14 5LL. That's How to, PO Box 1, Maidstone in Kent, ME14 5LL.
How do you play the mouth organ in China? Wow. What a beautiful sound from the Chinese mouth organ. Now then, you don't call it the mouth organ, though, do you?
This is called sheng.
A sheng.
Sheng.
Now, how do you play it? How does it work?
And actually, it's about 32 pipes. There is 10 pipes on the back and 10 pipes in the middle, like this, and the 12 pipes on the front. So when you play, you have to put your finger inside.
So you can play notes and chords?
Yes.
Can you play a chromatic scale for me, please, Guyi? And a Chinese scale? Now, I know that the harmonica is about 500 years old. How old is the sheng?
The sheng about 2,000 years old.
Well, it is such a beautiful sound. I think we should hear Guyi and Li Jian play once more. How do you say thank you in Chinese?
谢谢.
谢谢.
Beautiful. How can you cut down on the size of your phone bills? You know the problem. Every quarter the phone bill comes in, longer and longer, more and more money. How can you cut down on that? I've done major market research into this and discovered that all of us phones one person far, far more often than we call anybody else. Carol, true?
Yep, that is true, yeah.
Who do you call?
My mother about 6 times a day, probably.
6 times a day,
Yes.
more than anybody else?
Yeah.
Toppy?
That would be telling, but we're on the phone for like half an hour at a time.
So we're all agreed then?
Yeah.
So, taking the whole thing one stage further, if you had a direct phone line from you to that one other person that you regularly
Yeah.
call, straight between you and them, you bypass British Telecom, you have no bills to pay. We're agreed, are we?
Lateral thinking.
Let me show you how it's going to work. You cop hold of that yogurt pot there, you cop hold of that one there. Now, if you speak into that end, Toppy, the vibration, the sound wave will be taken along the cord, pull tightly, and Carol, you'll hear it. Speak.
Hello, Carol. Can you hear me?
Can you hear him?
Exciting. Yes,
You can hear him.
wonderful,
Prove it to
yes,
everybody else.
wonderful.
Hold it against that lovely microphone.
Can you pull the string tight?
Pull the string very tight. Speak, Toppy.
Hello, Carol. Can you hear me?
Good.
Yeah.
And marvellous. So you see?
Fred, yeah, I mean, the thing is,
Yes.
I'm talking to Gaz can just talk to me.
I
don't
know,
take it.
I know. That's only a model, that's only a prototype. Now I'm going to show you the real thing. The biggest direct line deluxe phone system in the whole world. The world unveiling of the Dynaphone bin phone. And here, the Mark II Dynaphone.
Fred, this is a bin.
Don't look at it like that at
It's a
all.
dustbin.
Don't look at it like that. No electrical impulses, totally green. Gareth, put your head inside that end, please. Carol, put your head inside the other end. Pull the wire taut, lift it up, lift it up. Foolish boy.
Lift it up.
Pull it taut.
Pull it taut, stick your
Yeah.
head inside it, and when I say go, Gareth, speak. Go!
Okay,
Hello,
well,
Carol.
I'm
No,
talking.
no,
It's
no,
Gareth.
no,
Can you
no,
hear me?
no,
Guys,
no,
'cause I'm
no,
talking.
no, you listen.
Testing.
You're
What?
receiving.
I can't hear a thing with
Just-
the head outside.
just
the-
listen.
Oh, right.
Stop it.
No!
When I say speak, you speak.
No,
I
it's
was
not.
speaking.
Now wait till I say, shut up.
Gareth!
Shut up. Speak, Gareth.
Hello, Carol. This is Gareth
Keep
testing the
going.
dynaphone.
Stop, stop, Gareth. Did you hear what he said?
I can't hear a thing with the head outside the dustbin.
Stick your head back in and speak to him when I say,
You know what?
shut up. Speak.
Oh!
Hello, Carol. This is Gareth testing.
Could you hear what she said?
What?
Could you hear what she said?
Hear a thing.
Speak.
1, 2. Hello, Carol.
Can you hear what he's saying?
I can't.
Oh, I give it up. And that's how you cut down your phone bill.
Line's gone
Cut us
dead.
off.
And that's how
For now.
How?